Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I made this video once and I didn't like it, so I'm going to make it again. So I just kind of recapped how the play worked and how government spending is going to have this multiplier effect, is what we called it in class. So we got this gap here of $50. We want to figure out how much the government has to spend to get the AD curve to shift $50 and close this gap to get back to that long run aggregate supply curve here. So you have to know a couple formulas to make this happen. And like I talked about in the video, it depends on how much people spend. And so one of the important things that you have to know is a number called the marginal propensity to consume, which is simply how much money people spend. So if I have $10 and my marginal propensity to consume is, let's say, 0.8, that means that I will spend 80% of the money I have. So if I have $10, I will spend $8. If I have $100, I will spend $80. What am I doing with the rest? I am saving it. So when the marginal propensity to consume is 0.8, the marginal propensity to spend is 0.2. They add up to 1. But we care about this number because it's going to tell us how much people are going to go out and boost that consumption number. Remember, the government spends and then people consume more. So that's going to tell us how much. Now, we're going to use this number because it's kind of like a shortcut here. You could go through and say, okay, the government spends $100, and that means Mr. Sutton, okay, let's assume he gets all $100. So he goes out, he spends 80 of it at somebody else's store. They spend 80% of the 80, and then go on and on and on and on and on, and figure out how much the total change is. But there's a shortcut. It's much simpler if you understand. So you can take this into this MPC and create what we call a multiplier. And to do that, you go 1 over 1 minus MPC. In this case, it's 0.8. So it goes 1 over 1 minus 0.8, which equals 1 over 0.2. Now, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, I don't know what 1 over 0.2 is, let me show you here. I'll give you a free math lesson, which is 1 over 2 over 10. Now, back in my high school days, we used to do a little thing called state change flip. I don't know if they still teach the kids this, but the 1 stays the same, the divide turns to multiply, the 2 over 10 flips to 10 over 2. 1 times 10 over 2 gets you 5. And that's your multiplier. Now, the other thing that you got to figure out is we want to know how much the government has to spend initially to get a total change of $50. So we know something. We know our total change equals 50. We know our multiplier equals 5. But we don't know our initial change. So initial change equals question mark. Well, here's the formula. Got it. The formula goes like this. Total change equals initial change times your multiplier. Well, I figured out my multiplier is 5. My initial change I'm still searching for, but my total change is 50. Can you solve for x here or for my question mark? I sure hope so. Should get 10. So the government has to spend $10 to get a $50 shift and close this recessionary gap. Okay? I'm going to put up another question here, and I'm only going to change one little thing. And we'll see if you can do it, and I'll walk you through if you can. Okay? But that's how it works. Let me know if you have a question.